Franklin D. Roosevelt said, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." And although he was speaking of the economy during the 1933 inaugural speech, fear has prevented most of us from fulfilling our goals and accomplishing our dreams. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters, most honored guests. As a child, I was afraid of the dark. I was afraid of the boogeyman, and I was afraid of things that went bump in the night. And some would tell you I was even afraid of my own shadow. Ooh. I can recall as a child, I literally ran to and from school. And no, I wasn't being chased. I was being haunted by those long, thick, fat, juicy worms. Ooh. Yes, I was afraid of worms. And so one day I had decided that I was not going to let those worms chase me here and there as I went all over the grounds trying to avoid them. I decided that I was going to hold my head up and I was going to take off running. Run, Pam, run! And that's how I went to school every time it rained, because the worms scared me. Well, I thought about this one day as all of our family was around, nieces, nephews, cousins, aunts, and we decided that we were going to take a family vacation. Well, I was all in as all the ideas started flowing. Everyone was real excited, and then all of a sudden, I went into a trance as I started thinking about how I had allowed my fears to imprison my hopes, my dreams. And as I heard them in the background, naming all these various places, it dawned on me. As I got older, I had developed more fears. The fear of flying, the fear of swimming, the fear of being stuck on an elevator. Well, no longer was I going to allow those fears to hold me hostage. I thought about all the missed opportunities, the opportunity for overnight camping when I was a child, the opportunity to belong to a swimming team because I was afraid of the water, and the opportunity to take my senior class trip to Jamaica because driving wasn't an option. So a lot of things in my life I looked back on, and I had convinced myself that it didn't matter. But it really did matter. As I got older, I realized that all of those were missed opportunities. And I decided that on this trip, I was not going to miss out. So I joined back in the conversation, and everyone chose a cruise. Oh, a lot of water. Can't swim. But I decided at that moment I was going to take that cruise. After all, it had been one of my dream vacations. And fear was not going to stop me. And last November, I spent 5 days on the Caribbean Sea. Really enjoyed it, had a great time, so much so that this November's been extended by 2 days. Well, my husband's pretty excited about it because he doesn't have to drive from here to Florida. Why? Because I was not going to get on that airplane. One fear at a time. Well, I'll have you know that 3 weeks ago, I purchased our airplane tickets. Oh, but I'm telling you, every time I see a plane take off on television, oh, I just go into a fit. But I have months to be able to wrap it around my brain that I'm actually going to get on that airplane. Because what I realize is there's nothing to fear but fear itself. Faith is what made me get on that boat and what brought me home. And it will do the same when I get on that airplane. What opportunities have you missed because of your fears? Most of us here in Toastaholics join because we have something we want to conquer. Whether it's the fear of public speaking, the fear of standing before a crowd, the fear of anything dealing with communications. This is where we practice. Some years ago, 6 to be exact, when I joined Toastmasters, I had the fear of standing before an audience. But it has taught me so much in the time that I have been a member here. I would encourage anyone who is seeking to improve in their communication skills to just do it. Step out on faith. Just do it because you can, and you will overcome your fears. As Franklin D. Roosevelt said, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. I made it back from that trip excited. I talked about it for 4 months afterwards. And now I got the next 5 or 6 months to talk about the next one. But when we do the things that we want to do, as our Toastmaster said earlier, you free yourself. I'm free. I will no longer be imprisoned by the fears that I have and not accomplish my goals or my dreams. And I encourage each of you to do the same. Madam President.